Here is our Professor Lalu Gladson Robin, convener of ICSI 2015 and Assistant Professor, School of Mechanical Engineering. He put up his great effort in every single step for making this conference a wonderful and successful one. Now I invite him for delivering the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chairman, His Excellency, Most Reverend Dr. Vincent Marpaulus, Bishop of Marthandam Diocese, respected correspondent and secretary, Very Reverend Father Prem Kumar, distinguished guest, Dr. Professor Padmanabhan, and our keynote speaker, Mr. Rajashekar from Tata Elxsi, respected Bursar, Reverend Father Dr. Yeshudas, beloved Principal, Professor Dr. A. Leninford, beloved Director, Professor Dr. N. Austin, and ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to propose this vote of thanks on this occasion on behalf of Maraframe College of Engineering and Technology, as well as on my own behalf. I extend my hearty vote of thanks to all. And a big thank you to Professor Dr. Parashuram Padmanabhan for his efforts toward this function. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for his speech. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. And final slide concluding, he has put on a creative thought, that's create and communicate. So according to his words, let us create and communicate with each other. And further, we are grateful to His Excellency, Most Reverend Dr. Vincent Marpaulus, for demonstrating his views towards this international conference. And I wish to express my gratitude to Very Reverend Father Prem Kumar and our Bursar Father Dr. Yeshudas, and Professor Dr. Leninfred, our Principal, and Professor Dr. N. Austin, for providing an encouragement to conduct this conference in a successful manner. And I also extend my thanks to our invited keynote speaker, Mr. Rajashekar, the practice head, Transportation Business Unit of Tata Elxsi Trivandrum, and Professor Dr. M. Sivaprakash, who is not with us now, Director for Research, Noor Islam University. And I also extend my thanks to all head of schools and to all office staff for their enormous cooperation to conduct this conference in a successful manner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. So the wheels start rolling months ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for detail. So we have been fortunate enough to be backbone by a team of motivated and dedicated colleagues and students of Maraframe who know their job and result-oriented. And it's my duty to appreciate them in front of you all, and namely the Editing and Publishing Committee and the Conference Proceeding Committee, Professor Charles Dyson and his team, and Program Committee, Professor Anish John Paul and his team, and Venue Committee, coordinated Professor Dr. S. Nagavina and her team, and Stage Campus Decoration and Seating Arrangement Committee, Professor Anand Rajlin and his team, Brochure Committee, Professor Anslam Lenin and his team, Travel and Accommodation Committee, Professor Babin T. Price and his team, and Publication Relation and Invitation Committee, Professor Leo Bright Singh and his team, Website Design Committee, Professor Benisha Jains and his team, and PA System, Photo, Video and Visual Aids, Professor Suresh and his team, and Registration and Certificate Committee, Professor Mary Prabha and his team, and Conference Email Correspondence, Professor Asti, and Finance Committee, that is Dr. Binusalin and his team, and Food Committee, Professor L.C. Manigandan and his team, and Reception Committee, Professor Javapriya and his team, and the Journals Committee, Professor Raju and his team, Technical Committee, Professor Abhilash and his team, and the Funding Agency Proposal Committee, Professor Arthur Vasant and his team. And I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of these talks beyond their comfort zones. And a special thanks to the press and media contacts and the comparing team, that is Mr. Asis and Ms. Ria. And well, ladies and gentlemen, once again I want to state that we are all most grateful to all dignitaries on the stage. We thank you for being with us this morning. It's been a great pleasure, and thank you very much for here. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to give away one award, that is Logo Creator Award. That ICSA logo was created by one of our students. So I request His Excellency to give away that award to that particular student. I call upon Justin V. Jose, a final year mechanical, to the stage. Thank you, His Excellency. And once again, I thank everyone present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to the second session of ICSE 2015. Now I request Professor Anand Reslin Dia, Head of School Civil Engineering, for the welcome address.
I take this opportunity to extend a word of welcome to the second section of International Conference on Engineering and Scientific Innovation 2015, organized by Mar Ephraim College of Engineering and Technology. I am delighted to welcome Professor Dr. Parasuraman Padmanabhan, Deputy Director, the Lee Kong Chian School of Medicine, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. Next on my list, our correspondent, Reverend Father Prem Kumar, who has guided us in all our endeavors since the beginning of the planning stage. I welcome you, Reverend Father. I warmly welcome Professor Dr. M. Sivaprakash, Director, Research, NI University, Kumarakovil. I thank you, sir, for your valuable presence. I am delighted to welcome Mr. Rajashekhar C., Practice Head, Tata Elxsi, Trivandrum. Next, I would like to welcome our Bursar, Reverend Father Dr. Yesudas, to this function. I bid a hearty welcome to respected Principal Dr. A. Leninfred to the conference. Welcome, sir. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to respected Director Dr. N. Austin. Welcome, sir. I truly appreciate and congratulate Professor Lalo Gladison, convener of the conference, for his commitment, professional approach, and personal efforts. Welcome, sir. Again, this conference could not be possible without the efforts of all the staff members and students of Mar Ephraim. Many of you have traveled a long way, and I would like to thank you for making the effort. I wish the conference to be interesting and beneficial program, and also you have a pleasant stay in Kanyakumari. And before I hand over the session to the keynote speaker, I congratulate the organizers and express my sincere thanks to the honorable speakers for making this conference a grand success. Thank you.
Keynotes are those wordings which help us in a lot of improvement in various aspects and ways in our life.
Very good afternoon to all. I am glad to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. C. Rajashekhar, the Practice Head of the Transportation Business Unit, Tata Elxsi Limited, Trivandrum. He completed his Bachelor of Engineering from PSG College of Technology in Electronics and Communication, and Masters of Engineering in Applied Electronics from the College of Engineering, Gindi, with university rank. After his graduation, he worked in many ISRO programs for more than 20 years and was responsible for designing and delivering mission-critical systems for launch vehicles. Then at IBS Software Services Limited, Trivandrum, with responsibility as General Manager, he led diversified teams to deliver complex applications for the airline industry in US and Europe. As general manager at HCL Technologies, he established the aerospace business and delivered complex solutions to Boeing, Airbus, and many leading aerospace companies. As vice president at Satyam Computer Limited, he was heading the aerospace business unit and delivered world-class solutions to aerospace companies. At present, he is the practice head in the transportation business unit of Tata Elxsi, deemed with the responsibility to analyze market segment, develop business, create solutions, manage embedded software and hardware development projects, and deliver solutions to clients in USA, Europe, and India for the aerospace, automotive, rail, and marine industries. Now I invite our keynote speaker, Mr. C. Rajashekhar, to deliver the keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you, Manikandan, for the nice introduction. Reverend Father Prem Kumar, correspondent, and our chief guest of the day, Professor Dr. Parasuram Padmanabhan from Nanyanga Technology University, Singapore, and Professor Dr. Lenin Fred, principal of the college, and all the dignitaries on the dais. Actually, before I am really, though I have come prepared for making the keynote address, I thought I have to change the keynote, and especially taking into account the kind of audience here, because as Most Reverend Dr. Vincent Paulus mentioned, I think if I start playing the keynote, and then if you are also if I expect you to reciprocate in full alignment or in rhythm to that keynote which I play, maybe I think it's going to be a difficult task for me. So basically what I will try to do is I will try to see maybe in the course of days to come, whether we'll be able to align the key notes together so that you all will be with me. Something which would need kind of an association on a need and on and off basis. And before I really jump to the specific topic which I really wanted to talk to you about, there are a few things which I think inspired me during the course of the forenoon session of the international conference. One is, I am really quite impressed to see, the kind of arrangements and everything that has been made, especially taking note of that. This is the first time the college is addressing this kind of international conference. So that I think, I really find a lot of professionalism and there's a good work that has gone in. And another aspect which I think I found, the interdisciplinary aspect which I think Most Reverend Dr. Vincent Marpoulos touched about. I think this is vital for any professional organizations to grow. Not only to grow, to make a real impact in the society. Because if somebody is just thinking the technology what I deal with is the greatest among all, and then he fails to look at the other interdisciplinary things which are around him, he certainly is not going to succeed. I am able to really confidently talk about it mainly because of my experience in the Indian Research Organization, where I have to really work with multiple departments, where for us to really provide any solution on a specific chosen area, unless you really understand the nitty-gritty of that specific discipline, it's just not possible to provide. And second thing also I found, from what Dr. Padmanabhan spoke about, I am really happy to make the kind of, myself very comfortable and proud to find, I think all his innovations or inventions or everything which has been going on for years, I think he was able to really present it, to the, he is able to really create and then communicate because of the technology, which I think, we have created in my own area of specialization, mainly electronics and IT. Be it image processing or designing this complex equipment, for him to really analyze certain specimens, which is being used in his research area. I think there, a sizable amount of contribution comes from us. So it will be possible, I think, for one to really bring that to a common man and make it usable only if, all of these disciplines work together. So another aspect, which I thought before I deep dive into, I'm not really going to deep dive into any technical things in fact, but before I really take my time to dwell a little bit on the technology innovations, I also want to touch upon a few things, I think, which probably is relevant in this context. One is, there are basically, in the technology world, there are three basic organizations which contribute. One is the educational institution, other one is the industry, where I am from, and then the R&D organization, where I was from. So every industry or every such organizations have their own role to play. If I take the education industry, I am sorry to say that industry. I think I apologize for using the term industry, mainly because one is educational academia, other one is the industry, other one is the R&D organizations. So the education groups, which are basically into academia, are expected to really, abstract the problem which is there present across the world, conceptualize, and then attack the problem and then try to provide a solution. I'm not too sure, to what extent that's happening in India, because I think for all the, not only here in this particular college, I think across India this has been the case, because I happen to work with Indian Institute of Science, Indian Institute of Technologies, so where this mindset is not yet changed, because the responsibility for the academia, one of the key responsibilities, of course, to produce world-class professionals. But apart from that, the fundamental research for problem abstraction, conceptualization, and solutioning should happen at the academia. So I'll be happy to see that kind of thing, the transformation happening probably in the next 5 to 10 years to come from now. If on that side, if I really can contribute whatever best possible way, I would like to do it. And second thing is on the R&D organization, where I think I had worked, where R&D organizations, of course, they don't have a problem of budget. I think it comes from the government, where I think a lot of good amount of research happens, and then they are able to really communicate and then create value which can be used by the common man. I think, at this point in time, I think at least, 15, 16 years ago, when I was part of the Indian Space Research Organization, I found it was very difficult, for me or for people in ISRO to convince the public, the common man, yes, all the money which we are spending on this R&D programs for rockets, satellites, are not really justified. But now I think, without me, giving you a convincing reason, I'm sure you will be able to tell me these are all the benefits which we are really we are getting out of this R&D organizations. So R&D organizations have certainly, the advantage that money is not generally a problem, and all very capable, competent, engineers and scientists are able to able to come up with good solutions. The challenge is, for people like me, I am with the industry for the last 17 years, where I think the complete mindset has to be changed, because I don't think we'll be given a good amount of money to really do, kind of, invent or innovate, or neither the funding will come from government or any other department and departments. So we have to raise our own funds. So the basic primary motive on which most of the industry operates is profit. basic survival itself is based on that, because the basic, whenever we talk about certain situation, when we are interacting with the customers, everybody asks invariably, is there a business case? What it means is, okay, I understand, I appreciate your curiosity, I appreciate your intelligence, I appreciate your approach to this problem, but then finally, what is that, what is that business sense it makes? So it's a simple thing, okay, if I really spend so much of time and effort in that specific area, finally, ultimately, when I release the product, when I take it to the market, will I be able to sell it? Will there be buyers? Will I be able to make a profitable business? So that's a challenge, because unless we really do that, even I won't be able to earn my own salary. So that is the kind of situation we are in. So especially when there is a good amount of agreement, if it is there from the management, he has to go and then kind of innovate, then the pressures like, the time to market. Unless we really, maybe, when I am engaged in certain innovative creation, when I am not really taking to the market on time, when some other competitor is able to bring it to the market much earlier than me, even a day ahead of me, all the investment I have I have put will be thrown into the drains. So that's a challenge we have. And another one is, that's what we call as the time to market. Other one is, whatever we do and whatever product we recreate, even if you bring it on time to the market, whether it will make business viability. That means, will it be a product that will be accepted by the public who is going to consume? Many a times, we are not given an opportunity to understand the expectation of the common man, because I think things have changed. Maybe I think a few years ago, I think at least we were able to really, to a certain extent, interact with the people who are going to consume the product and then get the feedback and then make changes accordingly on the product which we develop. But today, I don't think that kind of opportunity is there. So we have to visualize and sit and imagine the kind of consumer who will take our product and then use it. So ultimately, after taking the product, if the consumer doesn't accept, it's going to be a waste of time and effort. The investment has gone waste. Also, even if I'm able to meet, if I'm able to bring a product on time, even if I'm able to bring a product which really makes good sense to the consumers, but if I don't really make a good profit, then I won't have a job to really do. So all of these are all really challenges. So while this is the kind of scenario which I think, generally the academia, the R&D organizations and industry is in. So I spoke about academia, I spoke about industry where I am in. And as far as the R&D organization is concerned, because I know very well the technology which ISRO is dealing with today is maybe 30, 40 years old. But still, I think, most of these knowledge and other things, the R&D, the organizations like ISRO, again, by mere dedication and hard work, I think they are now able to make a differentiation. Even if they caught up with the technology much later, I think they are able to change the whole world, the way the people in India look at it, and they are able to make the Indian Space Research Organization business most profitable one. Though I think I haven't yet come to the real subject of the keynote address today, but I'll just try to throw a few things, because as I said in the beginning, I have chosen at least a few areas which I hope most of you would have heard about it, or which you will be able to understand and appreciate to a certain extent. The examples which I chose is from my area of comfort. I think most of the information you will find on the internet. So I have chosen 7 areas which I will come to the. I come and tell you. I'll just tell you briefly from now what they are. When I look at the area in which I am specialized in, basically the electronics technology and the information technology, what I found is, at least last 20, 30 years, there has not been significant inventions. Mostly it has been innovations. So innovations, because at least the semiconductor technology was there at least 40, 50 years ago. The communication technology was also there 40, 50 years ago. But what has changed and revolutionized the world is the semiconductor technology has really, phenomenally grown, where we used to talk about feature dimension. When I say a feature dimension, if you take a transistor, the minimal dimension of the silicon or the metallization which is used to connect the different silicon layers, that used to be in the millimeters, which at least you can comprehend and then you can appreciate. But today, it is just, nanometers. And when we were making those semiconductor devices using millimeter technology, there were a lot of problems. But today, this nanotechnology, I think, which everybody has in their pocket, in some form or other, in the form of a mobile phone or some gadgets, it's all nanotechnology. It's so matured, it works so reliably. You drop it in the ground, you put it in the water, I'm sure, most of the time it works. So, essentially, the technology invention happened many years ago, but what has been happening over the years is basically innovations. Innovate to get better performance. Essentially in terms of the semiconductor technology, it is basically in terms of minimizing the feature dimensions and performance, the speed, as well as ability to accommodate huge amount of memory in a small piece of silicon. Because I just remember, I just recall those days where I think the people from schools, we used to have an IBM 1620, a mainframe computer. So people from the schools and colleges, used to get permission and then, stand in long queues to have a look at the computer, which is almost, half the size of this hall, and which is not as powerful as the today computers which are there in your mobile phones, which are probably a million times slower than what you have it today. So essentially, that is how we have really grown in terms of performance improvement, feature dimension reduction. So it is mostly an innovation. Similarly, the another technology is the communication technology, where I think I don't need to really detail it about, where simple internet, which I think was in place 25 years ago, has revolutionized the whole world. So most of the innovations which I am going to talk about are